I'm back with She Fell for a Math Genius Part 6. He kissed her deeply, a sweet, lingering promise that echoed through the quiet cottage, sealing another beautiful chapter in their unending story. The rain outside gradually softened into a gentle mist, leaving the world quiet and calm. Inside the cottage, the warm firelight danced softly across the room, wrapping them in a comfortable, intimate silence. Maya rested her head on Liam's shoulder, her hand intertwined with his. The leather-bound notebook lay open on the table before them, its pages filled with ideas that bridged two completely different worlds, logic and emotion, science and art. You know, Maya said softly, looking at the intricate notes, when I first saw you solving that equation on my whiteboard, I thought you were just a distant genius living in your own world. Liam smiled, his thumb gently tracing the back of her hand. And now? Now, Maya turned her head to meet his eyes, a playful yet tender smile on her lips. I realize you were just waiting for someone to help you write the rest of the story. Liam's expression softened completely. He lifted her hand, pressing a sweet, slow kiss to her wrist, his dark eyes fixed on hers with unwavering affection. I wasn't waiting for just anyone, Maya, Liam whispered, his voice rich and low. I was waiting for you. You brought warmth to my formulas, and a purpose to everything I do. He gently lifted her chin with his fingertips, closing the small space between them. The kiss was slow, romantic, and deeply comforting, a quiet reassurance that no matter where life led them, they would navigate every step together. When he pulled back, his smile was bright, filled with a peaceful joy neither of them had ever known before. They sat together by the window, watching the sea as dusk settled over the horizon, knowing that their greatest adventure was only just beginning. Weeks turned into months, and the golden warmth of autumn returned to the city. The Central Library of Northridge University was as quiet as ever, but for Maya and Liam, everything had shifted. Maya walked down the familiar third-floor corridor, carrying 2 steaming cups of coffee. She turned the corner toward her old study nook. Sitting at the very same desk where they had first met was Liam. He was wearing a dark jacket, his hair slightly disheveled as always, absorbed in marking notes on a manuscript. Beside him on the floor sat his canvas bag, overflowing with books on art history, economic theory, and advanced mathematics. When he heard her footsteps, Liam looked up. The moment his eyes met hers, a bright, helpless smile broke across his face, the same quiet devotion that had captured her heart from the very beginning. You're late, Mrs. Sterling, Liam said softly, taking one of the coffee cups from her hand and pulling her down to sit beside him on the bench. I was talking with Professor Vance, Maya replied, leaning her head against his shoulder. He said your interdisciplinary paper, on economic patterns and mathematical music, is being reviewed by the International Academy. They are calling it a breakthrough. Liam shook his head gently, wrapping his arm around her waist and pulling her closer into his side. He pressed a warm, lingering kiss to the top of her head. Let them call it whatever they want, Liam murmured against her hair. To me, it's just the story of how I met you. Maya looked up at the portable whiteboard beside their desk. Where there used to be a chaotic mess of cold calculus, Liam had written a simple equation in clean blue ink. Maya plus Liam equals infinity. Maya smiled, her eyes sparkling as she reached out, taking his hand and weaving her fingers through his. Is that your final proof, mathematician? She asked softly. Liam turned to face her, cupping her cheek with his warm hand and gazing into her eyes with a tenderness that made the rest of the world fade into white noise. It's the only proof that will ever matter, Liam whispered, leaning in to kiss her. A sweet, eternal promise written not in numbers, but in the quiet beat of 2 hearts made whole. A year had passed since the day they stood under the oak trees and promised forever to each other. Autumn had returned with its crisp air and golden leaves, painting the city in warm, romantic hues. Maya walked down the stairs of their apartment above Ethelgard Books, adjusting her scarf. She expected to find Liam behind the counter or reading on his leather couch, but the ground floor was completely quiet. The shop door bore a small, handwritten note attached to a single red rose. Maya picked up the note. In Liam's elegant handwriting, it read, "Follow the sequence where our story began. First stop, to infinity." Maya's heart fluttered with excitement. She held the rose close, a bright smile spreading across her face. 20 minutes later, Maya stood in the secluded corner of the third floor of the university library, the exact spot where she had first seen a boy in a grey hoodie solving her impossible calculus problem. Standing beside the whiteboard was Liam. He was wearing a dark coat, holding a small velvet box and a steaming cup of tea. But it was the whiteboard behind him that took her breath away. Instead of equations, Liam had drawn a detailed, breathtaking timeline of their year together using colored markers. From the moment they met, to their nights in the bookstore, the gala under the rain, their wedding in the garden, and their quiet seaside honeymoon. At the very center was a simple, beautiful message: love equals constant. "You remembered," Maya whispered, her eyes shining with emotional tears as she walked toward him. "I remember every single second," Liam said softly, stepping forward to meet her. He set the cup down and wrapped his arm gently around her waist, pulling her close. He opened the velvet box to reveal a delicate silver bracelet engraved with the exact coordinates of the library desk where they first met. "Every equation in the universe has a solution, Maya," Liam murmured, his dark eyes locking onto hers with deep, endless devotion. "But my love for you is the only thing that grows larger with every passing day." Maya reached up, placing her hand gently against his cheek. "You are my whole world, Liam." Liam leaned down, kissing her sweetly under the soft lights of the library, a quiet, magical moment proving that their love story was only getting sweeter with time. A gentle spring breeze blew through the open windows of Ethelgard Books, bringing with it the sweet scent of blooming jasmine. Sunlight filtered softly into the upstairs living room, where a quiet, golden serenity filled the space. Maya sat on the plush sofa, resting her hands over her stomach with a small, radiant smile. Liam stepped out of the kitchen carrying a tray with fresh strawberries and a glass of warm milk. He placed the tray on the coffee table and knelt beside her on the rug, his movements careful and deeply attentive. He looked up into her eyes, his expression softening into an unspeakable tenderness. Slowly, Liam reached out and laid his hand gently over hers, right over her bump. "How are our two favorite variables doing today?" Liam asked softly, his voice low and rich with emotion. Maya let out a sweet, breathless laugh, leaning forward so her forehead rested against his. "They are very quiet today. I think they are listening to their father's heart." Liam's chest swelled with a feeling so powerful that no mathematical formula could ever define it. He leaned down, pressing a long, reverent kiss against her stomach before looking back up into her warm eyes. "I used to think my greatest achievement would be solving an impossible proof," Liam whispered, his dark eyes shimmering with genuine emotion. "But holding you, building this family with you, this is the only proof of happiness I will ever need." Maya ran her fingers gently through his hair, her heart overflowing with love. "You solved the hardest problem of all, Liam." "What was that?" he asked, leaning in closer. "How to turn a solitary world into a home," Maya whispered softly against his lips. Liam smiled, closing the tiny distance between them, kissing her with a deep, passionate warmth that carried all the promises of their past, present, and infinite future together. If you enjoy romantic stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Thank you for watching.